I like 70 serial killer movies because I would say that the 70s was a great time to be a serial killer.
That means start.
WTF template,
Just
yes.
tell us when.
Hello, where am I? Say hi, I'm over there.
Okay, hello. Welcome to our 57th episode of What the Flicks podcast. I'm Susan Ayers.
I'm Patty Smith.
I'm Lon Shima.
Jorge Sanchez.
Bob Nick Shields.
Okay, so let's get right to it. Remember to subscribe, like us.
You.
Huh?
I'm still
No, I was like, I was talking over there when I should have been over there. And which cameras were on.
Okay, so the films we will be discussing today are The Black Phone, Siddhar Udam, My Donkey, My Lover, and I, The Sound of 007, and Three Idiots. Okay, so I think we start with you, Patty.
Okie dokie. My movie is The Black Phone.
Okay.
It's written by a man named Joe Hill, who is Stephen King's son. Director is Scott Derrickson. And, they put it as a thriller horror movie. And really, who does what?
Let's
Let's
see
watch
a
it.
preview
Let's see a
of it.
trailer.
Damn, you got to stop me, Bob.
Would you like to see a magic trick?
Yeah.
Tell me your name.
Taylor.
I was really starting to like you, Finny. I almost let you go.
Don't hang up. Who are you?
You know all our names?
It doesn't work. Hang it up. I made you some breakfast.
What'd you put in that?
Salt and pepper.
Have you seen this boy?
My brother, he was taken.
By a man with black balloons.
I had a dream about it. Please let the dreams be real.
You're getting out of here. How?
There's a combination lock.
What's the combination?
Hang up the phone!
You don't have much time.
You're gonna use a weapon.
You are special, Finny.
Please hurry.
Ooh, the creepiest damn thing.
So the preview alone should really get you interested. It did me, right? So the story basically is, for some time, young teenage boys have been missing, as are shown in the missing persons posters when it first opens. And what I loved about it is that it captured the 70s look perfectly. They had the right kids. They had the right look. Nobody was a pretty boy. Everybody looked normal. In fact, in all the movies, everybody looked normal, which is what I really liked about it. In all the movies, it's like it's called something in filming, but it's a brown orange hue that they put.
Sepia?
I don't know the name of
Filter?
it. Kind of filtery thing, yeah. So a young boy, Finney, who's played by Jason Thames, the River Thames, so Thames, is kidnapped by a sadistic mass killer known as the Grabber, who's played by Ethan Hawke. Funny enough, doesn't really have a big role in this. That's what I noticed. This is more about Finney and getting out. Okay. He's put in a very soundproof basement, and the only thing in the basement is a disconnected phone, like a wall phone. So the grabber tells him it's disconnected, it doesn't work, but it starts ringing all the time. And it's all his victims of the grabber, dead victims, that are trying to help him. And he finally catches on to that's who they are, because one of them is his friends. And you see it go through the steps of trying to get out, right? But what I thought was interesting, the same people did Sinister, that did this movie, is that Ethan Hawke was the main central character. And even though they show that stupid mask, they didn't really need to, because he could be scary on his own. You know, I thought the mask brought the movie down a bit because they didn't need the mask, and it was a stupid looking mask. It wasn't scary. At the same time as he's doing what these victims are telling him to do and trying out different things, his little sister, who's played by Madeline McGraw, and she's fabulous in it. She plays a little sister really well. She gets visions of what's happening on the outside world from his, and is trying to get the police to look where her visions tell her to look. So this movie to me is about a coming of age, like from an innocence to reality. It's also when you see siblings work together. And at that time, there was a lot of dysfunctional parenting. So kids had to raise themselves and take care of the parent at the same time. It also brings back all the memories of the 70s, which I think were great. You know, and at the beginning of the scenes, it shows baby tees, you know, the striped ones. Do you remember those? And flared,
Pinball.
flared bottoms, you know, on your pants, and then it mixes it in with missing posters, right? And scraped knees, and I loved how they did that. I thought it was really good. I loved it. I loved it.
Lon, did you love it?
I didn't love it, but I was actually sort of impressed. After watching Sinister, I thought, oh no, another Blumhouse, Scott Derrickson film. This, I have to admit, it actually held my attention. It was not, the subject matter is rather disgusting, but what I like, they don't really explain what or why he's doing with what he's doing with the kids, except that they're abusive. And I think you're right
They give
about
you
that
hints.
part, is the fact that his father is abusive.
Right.
You know, his mother had died or has left. I'm not even sure about that.
She died, I believe.
Is she had died?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
'Cause
Wait,
that's-
which one? You mean the grabber?
No.
Oh, you
We're
mean
talking about
kid,
the
Finney.
I think
yeah.
they said she committed suicide.
See, that's what I was trying to understand, because I didn't get that part, but the
And she
father
had
keeps
visions,
talking.
too.
Right. That's why the father keeps saying your mother was
Right.
like that and she was touched.
Right.
So he basically punishes the girl for having the same kind of problem.
Right.
And you can see he loves his kids. It's just that he's afraid the same thing will happen to her that happened to the mother then, is how I saw it, right? So another part I did enjoy were the kids. All the kids I thought were very good, especially at the beginning, is about whether you're being bullied or this, because that's what it seemed to be about, is
Right.
being bullied.
Right.
You know, whether at home, at school, and now being adopted by this man, because one of the victims even says, oh, just don't go upstairs. He will beat you and it's going to hurt. And that's sort of what they sort of all discuss. Is like, yeah, just don't go upstairs.
Don't set him off.
Right. So I thought, okay, this is interesting, because you have no reason or rhyme or reason, in my opinion, as far as what's going on with the grabber character, or why he's doing this, etc.
But you get hints.
That's what I'm saying, not even with the grabber character. In fact, the only strange thing I thought with the grabber character is, spoilers here, so close your ears. He almost freaks out when his face is revealed at one point. I didn't understand that, for
I
example.
thought that was so symbolic.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I didn't get that, because he's not wearing a mask when he meets the kid.
Well, the
So
word's
there's...
naughty boy. You can tell that he's from a dysfunctional family. You don't
Well,
really need much
obviously,
help with that.
obviously,
Yeah,
yes.
right.
There's something, obviously, I think that whatever's going on with that character. But
Right.
like I said, it actually held my attention. I thought it was actually sort of clever. I liked, for example, the fact that as you saw in the trailer, that they're all telling him things that they had done before. So he literally is at the advantage point that he has like his other victims. Oh, I can do this. I can do this. And again, what I love about horror films, at least they just don't make the person stupid and a victim.
Right.
They're going to just kill me. Oh, I should just get ready and prepare myself for death. He is really trying to figure it out. And I do appreciate the fact that his sister is also trying to figure out that there's something going on here. I have to help my brother. And that's all she wants to do. She knows she has to help her brother and that she has some kind of connection in her dreams of something's going on. But again, they're both sort of suppressed by their father as to not to do that. And Jeremy Davis plays the father. I think he's a good actor, but he doesn't have a big role. But I thought that was, he and the Ethan Hawke character, I thought, okay, here are the two big male, quote unquote, models of what you're seeing in this. And I literally couldn't determine what their dysfunction, except that one was sadistic and one was actually loving, but was also in a way, in my opinion,
Totally
sort of
screwed
brutal.
up.
Yeah.
He was an alcoholic.
Well, basically, that's what they sort of hint
He had
at as well.
become an alcoholic since his wife had committed suicide.
Well, you know what? Knock it off. He's got 2 kids.
Yeah, but
grow up.
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes people think of themselves and not of others.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You drink to escape, and then you end up becoming this monster yourself.
usually you're just trying to stop the pain. You know, it's like a way of stopping the pain. So you're not thinking like I'm drinking to escape or I'm drinking to stop the pain. Yeah. But you don't realize it turns you into a different person.
Exactly.
Next thing you know, you're like,
that's the only reason I do drink.
And who
Just to escape the pain.
Who am I?
Yeah, who am I?
Okay, so is that it?
And I was just going to mention that James Ranson is also in it. He was the one who played the deputy in Sinister that I liked, and he plays just a small little character in this too. Yeah. I thought, oh, he must be one of the regulars in the crowd. So you know, I would say I was so impressed that. You know, this was much better for me to watch and sit through than Sinister. So
even the book sounds like it's better because I read a small part of it. The book is, I think, probably even better. Just the small part I read.
Is it a novel or a short story?
No,
it's a short story of many stories.
I don't want to steal your points. Yes, I actually enjoyed the movie too. I'm not a big fan of those kind of movies, but I thought it was so well done. I was thinking, wow, Blumhouse has really graduated into like a Spielberg category in terms of kind of children coming of age movies. It reminded me of the Sandlot. The kids were so real. Like everybody in this movie was so realistic.
See, exactly.
Like, real people.
That's what I enjoyed
they're
too.
Down to the dysfunction, the bullying. They did not. They was not like 90210. They did not look 40.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, they look like actual, high school or junior high school.
Right, young kids, right.
So and everything that they go through, it's almost like it's almost like a child wrote the children's parts and an adult wrote the adult part. They got the father to write the parts because they got it so perfect. So and it showed the dysfunction of the father and why he's in that situation. I thought you're right about the point about the mask. It's almost like the mask. He's like Batman. It makes him a different character. Even though you don't really know he's like Superman with the glasses, we all know Superman. But suddenly the mask breaks and he's exposed, even though we already know who he is anyways, but he's kind of feels like, oh, I've been exposed. This other character has been exposed. Very psychological. I was thinking too, the movie, you know, I like 70s serial killer movies because I would say that the 70s was a great time to be a serial killer.
They even say that in the serial killer
because nowadays you can be a serial killer with cameras everywhere. Everybody's got a phone and DNA. The technology is so advanced. But at that time period, it's very scary because there's nothing. You just payphone. So it makes it. I think if I watch a 70s serial killer movie, it's way scarier than a 90s or 2000 or now. I would, sure, come on now.
Yeah. They didn't have any DNA things.
They would be on TikTok. Like in no time. There goes a guy with a van. So, yeah, and where's that? Oh, there's an interesting point too. Part of it reminds me like there's one scene where I don't know if it's a spoiler, but where one of the dead children comes back and talks to him. He goes, "You gotta, that he played against, and he might be the second one against the doctor." He goes, he tells you got a mean swing.
A mint arm.
A mint arm.
Yeah.
And that made me think in the beginning, is this going to be like Signs? When he goes, sees a guy's, is that going to make a difference in the movie that he has a mean arm somehow, like swing, in Signs?
Swing away.
So I guess, so we won't go there. But yeah, and like Sinister, it's like when they show video footage like that, might be 8mm. It to me just looks so realistic. I always find it more
scary.
So I find it more scary than
me too.
than 4K HD 60 frame thing. When they do that kind of grainy stuff, I just find
You
it so
can see
scary.
their pores.
Oh, but it's so scary. Right, exactly. So that's too neat to be scary. But
Yeah.
yeah, I enjoyed it.
Okay, we're going to pass you. this
My
one.
name is Bob, and I am a former spoiler. As Lon will tell you, I'm so glad I was here tonight to hear you spoil the end of the movie, because he almost killed me once for doing it years ago. I haven't seen the movie. I was turned off on our last show. We did Sinister, which is another Blumhouse movie. I'm not a fan of the Blumhouse pattern.
Which ones have you seen?
This is the one we did last week.
No. But he says he doesn't like watching Blumhouse. Which
Sinister.
Blumhouse have you seen?
Well, the other Blumhouse movies that I tried watching the what's the ones with Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson.
Was this The Conjuring? Or?
Conjuring,
I
yeah.
think so.
I tried getting, because I mean they always have great actors in them, and they're actors that I really like, but there's just something leaves a sour taste in my mouth, and I
totally agree.
Are they the Purge?
That's the
Yeah.
only
Are
ones.
they the Purge bunch too? Purge movies? Is that them?
Are they the Purge?
I don't think
Of which?
so. But
Purge.
Conjuring,
Purge. Maybe because Ethan
Annabelle.
Hawke's in it.
They may do the prayer. I don't know, but
we'll
it's just
look it up.
it's like to me unjustified scares. We had on our last show we talked a lot about the difference in styles of the films that we reviewed, and that's chapter 56 of What the Flicks. Go on to YouTube and watch it right away so you know what we're talking about. This is just not my style of movie. I think Blumhouse. I think his name is Jason Blum, maybe the guy who runs the thing.
yeah.
I think he's got something, and I think that he's going a little deeper. I mean, like the fact is that, like as we're talking about this movie here, which I'm now sorry I didn't see it, by the way, because if I had seen the trailer ahead of time, I would have watched it, and if I had listened instead of just going, no, I don't listen to that crap.
Always try everything once.
I would have. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I keep coming back here.
Yes,
So
I'm there.
I can't comment on the movie itself other than what I just saw here, and I was impressed. If I had known it was a Joe Hill thing, I would have watched it right away because I'm a big fan of his writing. So I did see a flash though there of a kid getting out of a bathtub, and I do not like that naked children in bathtubs in movies.
I actually
There's
don't
no
even
naked
remember.
children in the bathtub.
Well, there was like it looked like of him sitting in the bathtub or something like that, and then and like La Llorona the last time, I mean, the kids started to get up out of the bathtub before they cut away from it, and I find that stuff creepy.
I don't remember seeing a kid in the bathtub.
I don't either.
So maybe I'm imagining seeing stuff because I just don't like that crap. So. But I mean, I'm letting you know basically where I come from in terms of why some of the time, like there's going to be another film later that we're reviewing later on that I also did not see for different reasons. I'll get into that as we go along. But I just can't. I mean, I can't say anything about it except that I am now going to watch it because I thought this was worth seeing.
That's the whole point. Like, how many movies have I hated of yours, Lon?
Oh, a lot of them.
Everyone, like me.
Not everyone. But
No,
a lot.
but it opens me up.
About a 75% hitting your average.
Yeah, and I felt bad, but it's just after. But it opens you up, and I always think, and then I go, no, watch the movie, check it out. You know what I mean? Even hate it.
Sometimes
if
it changes your mind. You go, wow.
Yeah.
Well, another thing I want to point out about this is Scott Derrickson, who directed it, is not just a horror film director. Yeah. He directed at least the first, I think, both of the Doctor Strange films.
Yeah, just Doctor Strange one, yeah.
So, you know, I mean, he's not that being part of Marvel is something that says, oh, so he's like really a serious director, but he does, I guess, fantasy and thrillers. Mm-hmm. And does them well. It's just that like the type of thing that I thought this was, which was more like Sinister. Also had Ethan Hawke, who I think is a wonderful actor. I just didn't want to see it. I just didn't want to see it, but I'll watch it now.
So you're right,
Not
George.
right now.
Blumhouse did do The Purge,
really? Okay.
and they also did Insidious, and then they did Insidious and the Paranormal Activity.
Oh, I love the Paranormal
That's
Activity.
where I think they really.
Of course you do.
They must have like a 30-movie contract with Ethan Hawke.
Okay. Does anybody want to know what I think?
Yeah, I do.
Thank you. Okay. So this is really a quality thriller. It's like I don't like thrillers. I mean, no, I don't like thrillers. I don't like horror movies, but this one is like. As soon as we watched it, I watched it with Patty and George, and I was like, okay, this is Stephen King meets The Sandlot, and that and then she told me, she goes, oh, well, that's because Joe Hill wrote this, and he is Stephen King's son.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that is so funny because that just
that's
kind
the
of,
energy,
yeah,
yeah.
that was the recipe. It was great. It's more than a horror film. It's really a unique coming of age film. Like you said, I think it's really a coming of age film. And that's so funny because, I mean, it's actually, when you think about it, there's a serial killer involved, but he's not in it that much. He's just creating the drama.
He's just the setting.
He's creating what's
He's the glue
going
that puts it together.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Yeah,
rug.
you could put that whole, like, what they're trying to teach you
What they
in
accomplish.
different scenarios.
He's
but-
he's the rug that puts a room together.
yeah.
Yeah, he brings it all
And
together.
they do put the room together.
The kids are all helping each other. Also, the late 70s, early 80s,
Oh, early
and
70s, I
like
think.
George says, golden age for serial
That's right.
killers. And it was kind of like they did it perfect. I know I was there. It was perfect. And when they were playing pinball, it was like just so
Ooh, pinball.
great. Yeah.
Well, mine is it's
A different
Oh,
world.
foosball?
No, air
Pinball.
hockey.
Oh, air
hockey,
hockey. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's still it's around, isn't it?
Yeah.
Air hockey, yeah.
Am I dating myself? Street Fighter?
Well, you're a little up here, you know, in the future.
younger.
Super
Yeah.
Mario Brothers?
Okay, so I think also the children had a lot more freedom from parental supervision at that time
Yes,
in the 70s
exactly.
and 80s. So they kind of fended for themselves and kind of grouped together and did stuff
Out of the house by
together.
6, and when you
I
come
also
home,
didn't see
when the lights out, when the outside lights
Street
are on.
Sure,
lights.
you're home
Yeah,
before
I
the
didn't see,
lights are
didn't
up.
But they never asked where you were.
No,
And you never saw 30 cars waiting for them outside of school to pick them up.
Yeah,
Okay.
none of that.
Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
a different world.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a different world. Okay, where am I? The movie had really interesting, complicated characters. Like as you said, the father, he would just be a bad guy, but in this, he wasn't a bad guy. He at first you just think, oh my God, he's just so awful. But then as you go on to the movie, you see he's just really everybody. It like even the kids are not necessarily good kids. Like when they're real kids. Like when he's the Karate Kid guy. I mean, there's a Karate Kid kind of guy, and because that's what was popular at that time, right? And he just pounds the
Still
shit
is.
out of that kid. It's like, but he's not a bad guy. It's like everybody's complicated. Everybody, which is not something you usually see in horror movies. You don't usually
I think
have
we should not call it a horror movie. I think
a thriller. It's a thriller.
It's a thriller. It brings
And every
down
kid has a different personality that, in a way, try to help him. Their own personalities,
Right.
How to
Yes,
help him.
yes.
Like the tough kid, you're not take shit from
growing
nobody.
up. We all
Bully,
knew
everybody's,
each of
you know,
those children.
But and also
You know
what
I
I
mean?
thought was interesting is, okay, the one kid told him, I just spoiler alert, it told him don't go up there. That's the game. Don't go up there. So, but several times after that, he starts to go up there to kind of get out of it, but the phone always rings. And it's, you know what I mean? It's like he
The phone, which doesn't work always.
the-
Right?
yes, the
That's
phone
right.
always that doesn't work always. When Finney, who is the main character, played by Mason Thames,
I know,
Thames. So like the Thames River, I guess.
It's the
is that-
Thames. The
Thames, yeah. And Gwen is played by Madeline McGrath. Alcoholic father Terrence Blake, played by Jeremy Davies. Even the grabber Ethan Hawke is interesting. He's interesting. Like there's that one time that there's something going on upstairs that's different about this time, and he's like, okay, Melvin, I'm coming, or something like that. And that's why I think he wears the mask. He's like the grabber. He's this whatever. But
Different
then
character.
he has this other life. We don't know much about that other life, but he have one. And there's also a very interesting character when they're driving around with the girl trying to find the house that she feels she
7414.
saw it, right? And she feels she saw it. So it was like there was that really funny character who was like had it all figured out on a board.
He's gonna help him.
Oh.
Investigate, yeah.
Yeah, that was really
See, that
good.
was the mystery character that I
Yeah.
really had to scratch my head at. And
Yeah.
just sort of like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't get this. Then
But even
It
if
goes throughout the entire movie, and it's like, oh my goodness, now I'm really confused. So,
But I like that he was there. I thought it was like comic relief. It was
very much
he was
so.
he was really
comic, yeah.
funny, and that would be me. I would be like, yeah, I saw
And the
that.
cops are
man.
like, we'll talk to you.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get back to you.
That he has all the information. They think, okay, he's a little off,
Yeah.
right? And yet he knows everything that's going on there and figures it out.
So much to my surprise, I enjoyed this film a lot and just loved the kids, both living and dead. It was great.
It's talking before about how what a good actor
Ethan
Ethan
Hawke
Hawke is, which I spotted back when he did Explorers. I said this kid's going to be something else. If watching that scene that we showed at the beginning, if that guy showed up, I wouldn't get in any car. He was so creepy without a mask on.
He was.
He really gave me the willies.
But he was that kid was that age, and he was a magician, and that was the.
Also, I thought,
okay. Yeah.
also thought this could be his audition to be the next Joker. I mean, he had
You know,
he
That's
had that
really
character.
interesting,
Not far off
George.
there.
That's pretty interesting. Okay, let's rate it.
Okay.
Okay, Lon.
Oh, I gave it a 5.
I will say up until this point, my not that cinema, but my all-time favorite Blumhouse movie was The Second Purge, and I think this movie just topped that one. So yeah, and that's now So yeah, I will give it it's a good movie, a 9, even 9.
Yeah,
for a horror that kind of film.
Yeah, I would give it a 10 in the horror category, 9 in all over films. Okay, Patty?
I gave it a 10 because I call it a thriller. I don't call it a horror movie.
Yeah.
That term thriller, I was thinking about that recently because I read a lot of books that are called thrillers. I see a lot of movies that are called thrillers, but I don't remember being thrilled by any of them.
Yeah, right.
When is the last time I saw something that actually thrilled
you,
me in the
right.
movie or read something that actually thrilled me? But that term is just so ubiquitous now.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, thriller is that it just
Gets your heart pumping.
it just
Yeah.
keeps you on the edge of your
Yeah,
seat. Like
yeah.
what's
Yeah,
going
and
to
I
happen?
can't think of when's the last time I saw something that kept me on the edge of my seat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, for me, this is a film that
Yeah.
was very much because I'm thinking, oh, this poor kid, what's going to happen to these? First of all, I was worried that they're going to show what happens to the kids. So I
Right.
thought, oh God, I thought, okay, it's been tame. It's like, oh no, I'm only expecting the worst now at the end of the movie.
Well, this-
so
That's
it's
how it
like,
gets
so
you.
that's why I'm in suspense. Like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And
How
so-
far are they going to go here?
Well,
Exactly.
or how's he gonna? What's he gonna do? But funny enough,
exactly.
this one went for our Halloween special. I was gonna pick this movie because
Oh,
I
really?
saw
Oh.
the previews
The
of
trailer.
it.
Right.
But then I went for classic for
Right.
La Llorona,
Yeah.
right? I had to do the classic, but this was going to be my movie too. I thought the previews were so
This-
enticing.
It would have been a good Halloween movie because of the mask.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like just seeing the picture of the mask, I said, I am not going to see this movie. I don't want to see this movie. That mask will give me the
That's
creeps.
why
Freaked
you-
him out.
yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Really, the must freak you out? I thought it was so,
Okay, so
Okay. So
we'll be back.
we'll be back.
right.